Welcome, everyone, to Your Little Castle Show. We get to do some exciting stuff. I mean, when you want to see good-looking work done, wow, Mike, your stuff looks great. Bax Built Construction, building houses and some little remodeling, but building some beautiful homes for people to live in here in the St. Louis area now for 30 years. And you're 48, 50 years doing the
50 years, almost 50 years total.
That's started when he was 3 years old, I guess. But
I wish 53.
Okay, but yeah, so just incredible work here. Jump right in though. We'll say a shout out to our sponsor here, Carroll House Furniture, because you like nice things in your little castle. Brooke likes what we did there because you gotta have a place to put everything. So you do that. You put it in our show, Your Little Castle Show. So with that, we're gonna now switch over. I'm gonna put up on the wall for everybody to see some beautiful work. And we've got a great looking fan page, good looking website here, and lots of cool stuff you get to see here from Mike, the owner, the founder of, let me put that up on the wall for everybody to see there. There we go. Bax Built Construction. Welcome to the show, Mike.
Thank you, Carter. Nice meeting you.
We've had a great little chit chat already talking about just life and what it is to make the world go around. And you're doing some awesome work here. Tell me, we talked a little bit about you've been doing this for 30 years with your own company, close to 50 years, over 30 years now, coming up on 31. Why did you decide to get into this? What led you here?
I worked for my father for 22 years prior. He was a custom home builder, basically out in Chesterfield area. And my brothers got into it, and I always wanted to do a little bit more. I love sales. I love changing things for people when they wanted certain changes. And you can only go so far when your brothers are involved and you want to expand and you want to take it a different direction. So I left that and went on my own back in '94. So learned everything I can from my father and took it from there and ran with it.
Well, at an early age, early construction, or early part of your life, already had a lot of experience by working with the family business there a little bit and instruction from the dad and working with your brothers a little bit. That's and as much as you've got, holy cow, ladies and gentlemen, we want to show you the work that he's done. You can see this website. This is just his website behind us. We didn't put a special montage. This is the website, putting these pictures up behind us, and you can take a look here at all the work they've done. But your father was a custom home builder, and you kind of followed his footsteps, but said, I got to do my own thing.
Yeah, he taught me to be a master carpenter, so I'm a carpenter by trade, and I always loved sales and creating things and of that nature and so forth. And was doing my own jobs, contracted my own jobs when I was 15 years old, kind of on the side. So I always loved kind of the business part of it. And don't like the subdivision stuff, just like the individual custom homes. Each home is unique and different. And creating a home instead of a house for somebody, so.
Well, I appreciate that. That's a great, imagine building a home for people to actually, this is where they're going to spend the time with their family and do what they do to, build a relationship with their kids. And I played, I don't know how much baseball I played in the backyard, because in our subdivision, we had a little common area where the dad would hit me fly balls, and in the backyard we hit ground balls. But you really get to help families develop the family.
Develop the family, and it feels good that they enjoy your product. So many people get talked negative. The builders, you have a negative connotation towards a builder. They're not happy. We make sure they're happy, they're raising their family in their house. You want to have a good experience throughout the whole process. So we try to give that.
And this is really, a true sense, this is a custom home. So it's a matter of, they're going to have probably standard side doors and windows and that kind of thing. But the way it's assembled, and again, I'm going to jump in and show some of the work you've done here. It's custom. This isn't, you choose from one of 6 pre-configured platforms and you modify that a little bit. It's all custom from scratch.
Everything's custom, and we modify as we go. If the customer has a different thought, or we see some things that, based on conversations with them, they would like more than what was on the blueprint, and we're happily ready to modify that for them, and to make sure the end product is what they want.
I can imagine you've got a lot of interaction there necessary, because you've got a lot of work going into these structures. And so when somebody sits down, how often does somebody start off with the same thing they finish? Or got to be changes made?
Usually never. Get a good set of plans, good set of drawings is key. You need to invest in a good set of working blueprints on a home. Most of us don't do that because it represents what you want. And number one, it'll tighten up the budget a little bit, knowing exactly what you want. But having a good set of drawings helps with that. Even with that, it's on a piece of paper. When people see things going up, they may get a different perspective of it. And you got to be able to work with somebody who's willing to help them make that change if a change is needed.
Yep, the Michael Jackson song comes on, make that change. But how often? I mean, that's the key to life. It's there's so much about what we go through that if we don't respond to those changes, and you've got somebody that says, oh, wait a minute. I mean, how many times do they have a little surprise? They're like, oops, 9 months from now, we're going to have an addition to the family.
Yep.
We got to change that family room into a living area or add another bathroom or Jack and Jill. I mean, there's so much that goes into this, but you guys, because it's a custom design, can accommodate just about any need anyone has.
We can accommodate and we communicate throughout the whole process because the architect may not know everything from the people, but us constantly talking to them every day, we may have an idea ourselves like, hey, you might like this. So we are invested into your project. And you want somebody that cares, that cares about their home, cares about the job you're doing, and we just want to make sure you're happy at the end of the day,
Absolutely. Well, I can imagine there's so much that does go into this again that to have a custom built house from scratch with every bit of it, they get to put their own feedback into.
Yep.
You can only imagine there's going to be something they're going, I didn't think about that. Granite countertops or an island or a
Always.
third car garage. There's just hundreds of different options I guess people might have out there, and they're saying, hey, Mike,
Yep.
can you accommodate here? And the answer, I guess, is almost always yes.
It's almost always yes. Yes. If it's not ordered, it's not in, it's not too late.
That's cool. Well, that's neat. And you guys have been based out of the St. Louis area now for this whole time, right?
This whole time.
I noticed it says there on your website, it says Barnhart, Missouri. I grew up in Fenton, not far from there. We played St. Pius, I think, in the quarterfinals for soccer championship back in the day. I scored a penalty kick we beat the St. Pius.
Yeah, I love soccer. Yeah.
But soccer's a great sport and a lot of good the team down there was a real good team. But yeah, this whole community. So you're just a little bit south of the St. Louis downtown area, but you service the entire Metro St. Louis area.
Service Metro St. Louis. We've been all over Chesterfield, Franklin County, Jefferson County is where we're focused at for the last 20 some odd years, but we go everywhere. We even had some customers down Texas.
Really?
They liked what we did. The local competition was scarce and hard to deal with, so we went down there and built a couple homes.
Wow, yeah. So have construction.
We'll travel.
Capabilities will travel and can even do the work down in Texas.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to look at some of the work that you can see Mike and his crew have done. How many people do you have actually part of your team? And I guess is that kind of in flux? You contract some work out, or how does that
Yeah. So basically, we're a general contractor, meaning we subcontract electricians, plumbers, licensed electricians, plumbers, HVAC, things of that nature. We have our own carpenters, and sometimes we do subcontract some carpentry out right now.
Okay. So it's a matter of getting the whole thing done. You guys got the whole master plan. You're implementing the structures, and then you got to put in the pieces.
I can put in the pieces. I can get the dishes in your cabinets if you want.
Okay.
We could take it to whatever level. Some people have a brother that's a painter.
Okay.
Sure, we can work with him. That type of thing. So we're very flexible on
that's
how
cool.
we work.
Yeah, it's a matter of doing. I can't imagine for the normal custom or normal kind of cookie cutter built houses.
Yeah.
They're not going to let you bring in your own people. They've got that all contracted out.
And to get the price point of the cookie cutters or the subdivision, they got to beat everybody up on price, and everything's on schedule and everything. They're yelling at people to show up and get your price down. It's all about price. It's all about price. To us, our prices are good, but it's all about product and service.
That's why I say we're going to show you some of the reviews here too. They've done a great job. A number of highly rated reviews. You're getting close to a 5-star, 4 something you had in there. So very few. I start scrolling through, and I'm like, I don't see anybody having anything bad here. How'd you get anything less than a 5?
The only thing we got bad was one of these reviews started coming out. Some guy that worked on my personal house. He wanted to work on my personal house. Long story short, he wouldn't come up with any paperwork, and he wanted a lot of money up front.
Wow.
I said, for what? Well, I got to know you're going to pay me. Well, I got to know you're going to get the work done.
Right.
I wasn't about to give him any money up front.
So he gave you a review.
Yeah, he's the one that gave me the bad review, which is a good thing. You never want to give a contractor a lot of money up front, unless you got protections in place. Unless that guy's a reputable business, you have a brick and mortar store to go to get a hold of somebody if they're not showing up. We require very little deposit, if any, when we build a custom home.
Yeah, so what is the process to get started with somebody if they say, I want to do this? They got to put a little bit of money down to get a blueprint to you. What do people?
Well, we have our own plans. We can design them, or we'll work with their architect, or we'll refer an architect to them or draftsman to get a set of drawings. Once we get a set of drawings, then we can bid out the home. So we don't guesstimate anything. A lot of people will guesstimate, well, this house cost me this before, theirs will cost me this. We do a detailed estimate on each individual house because each house is different. So once we get that, we present a proposal to the customer. If they say go, very minimal deposit. We work with their lenders if they have one, disbursement companies, and we get the ball rolling.
Off to the races.
Yeah.
Well, tell me then, what is it about this that fuels your passion? This is something you really get to bring, like I said, the whole house, the family together. Why do you enjoy this so much? What drives your passion for this?
I guess I always love a little bit of sales, and I like creating things. And one of the best experiences, we built 3 homes for 3 family members, kind of all at the same time. And they kind of had a bad go. It was a fireman's wife. He was killed in a fire. And their children, when they were young, they grew up. And luckily, we were able to build them 3 homes and help them through, that bad time in their life. But the best part of it, the daughter, we built her house. She got married in the process. And she moved in. Marriage happened. They invited us to the wedding.
Oh, wow.
And then
Okay.
me and my wife walked in. We didn't know anybody except for the house people we bought the house for. She ran up and wanted to dance with me.
Wow.
I don't dance, but that made me feel good. They were happy.
Right.
Just making people feel good about themselves. It gives you some sense of, man, I made you happy. It just gives you a self-worth,
Yeah, and I can imagine, when you're providing somebody their place where they're going to spend all their time, where they lay their head, and it's a reflection of the hard work they've put into where they establish themselves in life, and they can say, look at this.
Look at this. And then to be friends in the end, gotta be so friendly, but, have a good relationship in the end instead of mortal enemies. So we make sure we're friends in the end.
Well, and I can tell you that it's something I never forget as a kid. The house that I grew up in, down in Fenton, not far from, like I said, we talked about, they laid the foundation for the garage, and then it collapsed, and it would go dip down. And that was like that for the first 7 or 8 years, 10 years of my life.
Oh.
They battled back, and then the construction company went out of business or whatever.
Yeah.
Contractor went out of business, and we never got that fixed until my dad just had to finally pay for it out of his own
Pay for it out of pocket.
But he had angst towards that builder for the beginning, and just throughout, and I just never forget that. Enough of an impact, obviously, as a kid. I remember that still at my old age now. But those little things that people, this is where they're going to spend all their time and energy, and they want it to be a reflection of all of what they've worked on. And boy, so the work again, we'll show everybody that you've done here.
Thank you.
Great job. It's got to be very satisfying for people.
Well, it saves a lot of arguments if you do it right.
We talk about the keynote there, everybody. Do it right.
Yeah.
It saves a lot of arguments, right?
I like that pencil.
It's a keynote. Yeah, take note, everybody. Do things right the first time, and it saves you a lot of work along the way.
I always tell people it takes you no longer to do it right than it does to do it wrong. It really don't.
Yeah, you're cutting a couple corners, and then if you have to go back, especially if you fix it,
right?
You do it. Now you spend a lot more
work out?
time getting those things done. All right, good information. Good to see. Well, I did bring up your guys' reviews on the on Google here, and you can see there are 4.6. I'll put these up on the wall for everybody to take a look at. But yeah, I was scrolling through. I'm like, holy cow! Everybody's got something good to say, and I'll just grab one of these to read off to everybody. But Matt Mueller, one review 6 months ago, did a great job on our house outside of Hillsboro. Good communicating when COVID-related delays kept plaguing our progress. Highly recommended for sure. Thank you, Matt. You were easy to work with, and let us know if you need anything. And jump down here again. We got another one. Positive professionalism, punctuality, quality, responsiveness, value. The best thing about being quarantined is enjoying the beautiful Bax home built together for us, put together. Thanks, Mike and Becky. Call us anytime for a reference. Mark and Kathleen Ruther. So just a couple examples there. And if you take a look here, there's a lot of examples on the website. If you do a Google search, the way I find these every time, I type in Bax, build, construction, reviews, and there you see them. But you can see they've got that great. How's it make you feel to have so many people that are proud of the work that you do, that you put together for everybody?
That does make me feel good. You know, yes, why do I do it? That's probably one of the reasons. I like those responses. Nowadays, the modern technology, people can give you a good or a bad.
Right.
And I always want to make sure it's good. So, it's easy enough to give a bad review, let alone a good. So getting the good reviews is
It
great.
seems they talk about the fact that if somebody's upset, they'll tell 10 people. But if
Right.
somebody's happy, they may or may not mention it to anybody. But so that's why I see to keep an average score of 4.6, you've obviously made a lot more people happy, a lot more. It seems like maybe it's not only that one review.
Well, there's one review on the bottom there. It's it had nothing to do with my company. A guy wanted to work in my personal home. And I finally figured out how to, a while back, to reply to the reviews, and people ought to read it. I gave a response. And
then everything else there, perfect 5 stars for Mike and his team. They're doing a great job, and so we wanted to show that off a little bit. Well, that's pretty cool. I mean, as a matter of reflection on the business and the work you put together, and just servicing the St. Louis area and all that you put together. I mean, give me an estimate. How many houses have you built over your career? Would you estimate?
boy, I don't know. I couldn't even imagine. We're not a mass production builder. You know, a lot of our homes are all hand built. You know, that I couldn't even tell you. I had to sit back and think about that.
Yeah, well, I can only imagine if you're doing 3 houses a year would keep you busy, but you're doing.
We're doing
probably how many?
Yeah, people ask me how many homes you going to do this year. I said, well, I'll tell you at the end of the year. But we do a half a dozen or 10 custom homes a year.
Okay.
Amongst other projects. Times that by 50 years, and my father's firm probably well over 500, but a lot of them have been really nice custom homes, small custom homes, large custom homes. We do it all. So,
Okay. Well, I think about that. I drive past the population signs for certain times. You build enough houses to house half of some of the towns here in St. Louis County.
I gotta think of it that way, yeah.
You get about 1,500,
Yeah.
1,000 people.
Yeah.
I mean, Fenton, I think, had a population of 3,434 people or something like that. And so look at the work behind
that's
it.
an interesting way to look at it.
And so 1 out of 6 people might have, if they'd all been built in Fenton, it would have
There
been
you
built
go.
by you. So a lot of good work. So a lot of great experience, obviously. You guys know what you're doing. That is reflected then, obviously, in your reviews that everybody sees there too. Well, that's dynamite. Tell me then, what is the one thing that you would say of all the things that you've worked on that really has helped you to develop to set yourself apart from? There's a few other builders in town, especially the big guys. We all know that. I won't say any names of the big guys, but what would you say really sets you apart that gives you the opportunity to better serve your customers?
Well, communication is key. And I think that's number one. So I tell people, you know, when you're meeting another builder, anything, you're buying anything, everybody's your friend. They're laughing at your silly jokes. You know, they're your buddy. But as soon as you're committed to them, crickets. Not with us. I mean, you will constantly be updated, constantly be communicated with. Some people get tired of me saying this, but with the modern era, I tell people I will call you, I will text you, I will email you, right? Or I'll write a note and I'll throw you a paper airplane. Like, you're going to get an immediate response. I mean, next to immediately, or I'm going to reply, I'll get back with you right away. So I manage all of our homes myself, you know, make sure everything's right. But I respond to all of our customers myself.
Well, I've got my master's in media communications, for those who've probably heard me talk about that. But they talk. If I study the problems that anybody has, just about anywhere, it's almost always a matter of communication.
Communication.
And we put on the hat because Mike here's doing a great job. It really helped the community. That's when we start talking about community stuff he's done. But you hit me with that communication piece, because that is at the root of almost any problem anybody has. Yeah. Oh, I thought you wanted brown. Well, you said you wanted off-white.
Yeah.
Well, now we got to go fix these things. But if the communication is there, these are things that can easily be.
My father taught me when I went in business, he said, you're going to learn one thing. This is back then. A piece of paper and pencil's your best friend. Meaning, I could be thinking and saying something. You could be hearing and thinking something. But at the end of the day, let's write it down. Now that could be text or email now, right? But write it down and make sure everything's clear. Just make sure it's clear, because it could be a simple misunderstanding that could blow up on you. So
well, and it's a matter of communication, writing it down. The old-fashioned put it on paper and pencil, right? And so that using a pencil so that you can document what you've got. And then if you have to, you snap a picture of it and send it to them. But at least you did that first step to write these things down.
Right.
Because if it's not documented, we talked about that. Documentation is, I used to have to do tons of documentation for our server builds and all the stuff we did. But every step had to be outlined. And if you didn't follow every step, then somebody may not know what was going on.
Yeah.
But it's a matter of communication and making sure that things are done right. Document everything. Because how often is there some time where there's just an angle? Say, oh, well, we want to fit this in that corner, but this shelf had to go over here. And because you've got to document
and it could be an honest misinterpretation mistake, but if you communicate properly, it'd be clear,
Okay.
So.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. So if you're going to get a house built, you might as well get it done right with the right proper communication. And Mike still does it old-fashioned. He'll write you up on a pen and paper, but he'll make sure to get it to you. Do you do that often? Take a picture of the note then and send it to him?
Well, I'll text you. I'll text you or email you, but you're going to get an accurate response just to make sure. Are we clear on this now?
Well, good stuff. Well, with that, let's show off a little bit of the work you've got here. I'm going to put up on for everybody to see your fan page. And if you see here's the Bax Built Construction Incorporated fan page. But if I just look over here at the photos you've got, and you've got a couple things we'll talk about too, that kind of close to your heart with your granddaughter there. But some of these houses, I was like, these look beautiful. So tell me a little bit about this house and what was going on here.
Oh, Heather and Jake, what a wonderful couple. We built their home coming right midway through the plague, I call it, and out. That was in Jefferson County, in Burns Mill, actually. Wonderful couple. It's about 2,700 square feet. Communicated with them throughout the whole process, changed the inside. Actually, from the plans from the architect, I've modified, with their approval, some things on the inside to improve their look of the inside. They'd have some custom beams on the inside, on the great room that we made. I made the vault a little bit steeper, modified some things of that nature to make it so unique,
Well, it's a great looking finish you've got there too. That's a block brick finish, I guess. And
that's a stone and brick facade, all natural stone, and maybe in one of the other pages we'll show their front door, which is a custom front door that we did. That is just gorgeous, but it's a beautiful home, and
very happy.
Yeah,
that's located in Barnhart or what?
Burns Mill. It's located in Burns Mill.
Not far
20 acres in Burns Mill.
Down Highway 30. There's your logo. We've got that up there. Here's some more examples. Are these pictures from all one house? Is the inside of the
different homes?
Different homes. Okay.
The upper left is a remodel job we did in Chesterfield.
Okay.
There's a couple before and after pictures of that.
Wow.
The white brick two-story here is, it's my personal residence, which we have an office to the left. That home's 165 years old.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It was owned by James O'Fallon. Anybody hear the name O'Fallon?
Yeah. Okay.
But we renovated that, and it kind of showcases what we do if somebody wants a nice renovation.
Good looking example. Yeah. Some good looking stairs there, some fire pit. There's a couple angles on the fire pit. Fire pits are popular these days.
Fire pits are popular. We have a really neat fire pit company that it'll give you a fire pit 400,000 BTUs if you want it. It'll shoot a flame 3 feet tall, and they're not that expensive.
That'll keep you warm. And there's another example. So these are the kind of fire pits you build.
Yeah.
Looks good.
And like the doors right there, that's a popular item right now. The bigger patio doors.
Okay.
They're not that expensive if you stay in a 12 to 15 foot range.
And so those will all slide or open. Those will
all slide open.
Yeah, swing open. That gives great entryway.
They can swing or slide. That one's a swing, but typically the sliders are real popular. They're not your traditional sliders everybody hates. You can take one finger and slide them.
They pop off the truck. Another stone and brick finish here. Tell me about this one a little bit.
Yeah, that was a custom design we did years ago. Actually, the brick on that is a used brick.
Really?
Yeah, there's a used company, Century Brick, out of St. Louis. They tear down old buildings and peel the brick off and clean it up and resell it. So we wanted that old, kind of like a French country look. So we incorporated the brick with that, with the natural stone, and
Yeah, that's a great looking finish there
Yeah.
too. So, we fast forward here. We had a couple of hours. Now, what I wanted to also jump to, and I'm gonna put this up on the wall behind us here as I take a look here. But the wide shot, you can see here's their website, and so if you look here, we do have a project gallery. So, tell me a little bit more about some of these specific project gallery pictures. And you've got a few things here going on. I'll let everybody take a look. I'll put these on the wall for everybody. This is a nice finish here. This is a kitchen. It looks like in a dining room area, or
yeah, that's kitchen. That's actually a remodel job we did in. That's the same remodel job we did in Chesterfield. They had a traditional old light stained oak cabinets. We took it all out, and
that looks beautiful. I mean,
yeah, we actually designed the kitchen ourselves with the customer. Got them the appliances they wanted.
That's part of the
Incorporated some modern rustic details with the beam. They had an existing coffered ceiling, so we kind of dressed it up with the beam and hung a light fixture from it.
Okay.
Now this is interior doors we can do. This was the same remodel job. They had the standard 6'8" interior doors. We talked the customer into modifying them to 8 foot. They love the New England Cape Cod look. So we did the wainscoting on the side, the paneling on the side. It's called wainscoting.
Okay.
We kind of did that and kind of matched the doors with the Cape Cod look.
Okay. Another
Yeah.
angle for
Another
doors,
angle.
doors.
Yep.
Some good looking stairs.
The stairs. Now, those are, we hand build those stairs. Those are, we call just a custom set of steps, oak treads. Those are all hand built on the job, wedged and glued, and gives you a wonderful look.
Tell me about this. Is another kitchen here. White finishes. I see a lot of.
Yeah, if I had the tractor trailers full of white cabinets, I'd sell them in a day. But white's real popular with the white countertops. Now what's real popular is the kind of the champagne gold hardware.
Okay.
That's really popular right now.
Okay. Yeah, nice finish there, and get the state of the art refrigerator there, and a big island you can see here. And these islands are real popular.
And the pet bowl down here, down below, we've done a few of them.
It allows them to put that all together.
Yeah, kind
Yeah,
of get
some
out.
beautiful work there.
Yeah.
And take a look, if you will, everybody. Get out on the website here. This is what we're looking at. And incredible work you guys have put together. Many years of labor, you can tell, to make this happen. And just some great examples out there. But stay tuned for more, everybody. We're going to talk about some of the big mistakes that are made, and when building a custom home or building a home, period, and how you can avert making those mistakes, because technology, we're going to talk about too, has also changed things quite a bit as well. And so when you put that all combined, where do you end up? And you need the experts to do that. Mike Bax, Bax Built Construction, baxbuilt.com. We'll be back. Giddy up.